Hello everyone, welcome to back my channel. I hope everyone is having a wonderful day. Before starting the video, please go ahead and hit the subscribe button and give this video a thumbs up. Things are unraveling fast for Drew Cameron Matheson, and if he doesn't think fast, he may just lose everything. Drew doesn't know it, but the escort that he had partied with slipped some ketamine into his drink at the Port Charles Grill, and his entire life is going to blow up because of it. The congressman had a grand old time at the Savoy with his new friend, Jacinda. He stumbled into the club, kissing and hanging all over her, before yelling that it was time for body shots. As drugged, Drew did body shots off of Jacinda's stomach, on top of the bar. Lulu Spencer, Alexa Havins filmed it as the top story for the next morning. Jordan Ashford, Tanisha Harper tried to get Drew to leave before he went down in flames, but it was impossible. The congressman had the night of his life as several of Port Charles's heavyweights watched in horror. Willow Corinthos Caitlin McMullen is set to return from Germany the next morning, and you better believe that by the time she is walking through her front door, she has already had an eyeful of Drew's behavior. The reality is, he can't explain it because he doesn't remember any of it, but Willow knows that it has happened because the footage has gone viral. She realizes that she has made a huge mistake in moving herself and her children in with Drew. Willow decides that she is going to move back in with her mother, Nina Reeves, Cynthia Watros, and Drew realizes that he is losing his control over Willow, so he decides to admit to a secret. Drew thinks that if he admits to something, any sort of secret, that it will help to win Willow's trust, so he tells her about his relationship with her mother. He is banking on it preventing Willow from taking off and running to live with Nina. If Willow isn't trusting the man in front of her, then she's not about to run to her mother for help after learning of this lie by omission. Willow is at a breaking point. Who do you think she will see as the lesser of the two evils, Drew or Nina? The pale spring sunlight filtered through the windows of the Metro Court, casting long shadows across the polished floor. Drew Cain stood stiffly in the corner of the restaurant, his hands buried deep in the pockets of his navy blue jacket. He stared into his coffee, his jaw clenched, his thoughts tangled. He had played this moment over and over in his mind, but nothing had prepared him for how hard it would be to say the words. Willow Corinthos walked in moments later, her face calm, eyes bright despite the months of emotional turbulence she'd endured. She had fought leukemia, reconciled with the idea that Nina Reeves was her biological mother, and found peace in her little family with Michael and the kids. Peace, however, had a habit of being short-lived in Port Charles. Drew, she greeted warmly, sliding into the booth opposite him. You sounded serious on the phone. Everything okay? Drew hesitated, looking up into Willow's trusting eyes. He'd known this would hurt her, but he owed her the truth. What was between him and Nina hadn't started with intention, it had been born from anger, grief, and need. But it had happened, and he couldn't let her find out from anyone else. No, he said softly. It's not okay. That's why I asked to meet. I need to tell you something. Something personal. And it's about Nina. Willow's expression didn't change right away. She simply blinked, tilting her head. Okay, go on. Drew drew in a deep breath, the words catching like thorns in his throat. A few weeks ago, Nina and he paused. We were both going through a rough time. She was hurting over being cut out of Wiley and Amelia's lives. I was reeling from the merger fallout and losing Scout's stability. And, he finally said it, straight and unvarnished, we slept together. Silence. Long, cold, absolute silence. Willow stared at him as though trying to process what she'd just heard. Her lips parted slightly, but no sound came. Then, finally, she laughed, once. A sharp, breathless laugh. You slept with Nina, she repeated, blinking. My mother. Drew winced. Yes. Willow stood up abruptly, the movement scraping the chair against the floor. She turned away from him, pacing. Her shoulders stiffened. Her voice, when it came, was tight. Was it a one-time thing? Or is there something more going on between you two? It happened twice, Drew admitted. But it didn't mean anything. It wasn't about feelings or a relationship. We were both lonely. And it was a mistake. I ended it. Willow turned around slowly, her eyes now glistening with unshed tears. You think that makes it better? You didn't even consider how this would affect me. You, of all people, you knew what I've gone through with her. I do know, Drew said quickly, standing as well. That's why I'm telling you. I couldn't live with hiding it from you. I never meant to hurt you. But you did, Willow whispered, her voice breaking. You betrayed my trust. I confided in you. I leaned on you when Michael and I were falling apart. You were my friend. You knew how complicated things were with Nina, and you still, she broke off, shaking her head. God, Drew. Tears threatened at the corners of her eyes, but she blinked them away, determined not to let them fall in front of him. Does Michael know? She asked quietly. No, Drew said, sighing. Not yet, but I'm going to tell him. I won't let this spiral. Willow folded her arms. Do you love her? No, he said firmly. It wasn't about that. It was two people who made a bad choice. That's all it was. But Willow wasn't sure she could believe that. Nina had always known how to manipulate people. And Drew, despite his strength and decency, had been vulnerable lately. She could see how it happened. But that didn't make it easier to swallow. What does Nina want from this? Willow asked suddenly. More access to the kids. A seat at Thanksgiving. You think this helps her make her case as a mother and grandmother? She didn't do it to get to you, Drew said. She didn't plan any of this. If anything, she's as conflicted about it as I am. Willow snorted bitterly. Oh, I'm sure she is. Drew stepped closer, gently placing a hand on the back of the chair. I know I can't undo it. But I want you to hear this from me, Willow, not from someone else. You deserve that respect. She nodded, still looking dazed. Thanks for the honesty, she said stiffly. But you should prepare yourself. When Michael finds out, things will get ugly. He nodded grimly. I know. Willow turned to leave but paused, her voice softer. Drew, I hope whatever pain you were in, you can find a better way to heal it. Sleeping with Nina was a step backward, for both of you. Then she walked away, her composure cracking just a little as the door swung closed behind her. Later that day, Quartermain Mansion. Michael Corinthos stood in the study, arms crossed, tension radiating from every line of his body as Willow recounted the conversation with Drew. He told you? Michael asked, his voice dangerously low. Willow nodded. He told me before someone else could. But it doesn't change how betrayed I feel. Michael paced, his jaw working. He's supposed to be your friend. And he knows how much you've been through with Nina. And he shook his head. Unbelievable. Don't turn this into another war, Michael, Willow said. Gently. I'm already sick over it. I just want space. And I want Nina to know she hasn't won anything. Michael's eyes narrowed. Oh, she hasn't. Believe me. At Crimson, Nina's office. Nina sat at her desk, nervously twirling a pen between her fingers when Drew arrived. She rose when she saw the expression on his face. She knows, doesn't she? Nina asked, her voice quiet. He nodded. I told her. Nina closed her eyes, exhaling slowly. How bad was it? She's hurt, angry, but she didn't scream or throw anything. He gave a rueful smile. Which almost makes it worse. Nina looked away. I didn't think it would matter. That we'd be free of consequences. But I should have known better. It was my choice too, Drew said. We both messed up. Nina moved around the desk and sat on the couch, rubbing her temples. I just got her to stop hating me. Now this will set us back even further. Maybe, Drew said, sitting beside her. But it's done now. We can't take it back. They sat in silence, side by side, both feeling the weight of a decision that had ripple effects they hadn't fully considered. Days later, G.H. Chapel. Willow sat alone in the chapel, the flickering candles casting warm light over her features. She wasn't praying, she wasn't sure what she believed anymore. But the silence helped her think. She'd lived through so much, loss, illness, betrayal. And now this. She wasn't sure what hurt more, that Drew, someone she trusted, had crossed that line, or that Nina, again, had found her way into her life in the most twisted way possible. I won't let this define me, Willow whispered. Or control me. I'll rise above it. But even as she spoke the words, a single tear slid down her cheek. Next week on General Hospital. Willow confronts Nina with a cold fury she's never shown before. Michael takes a swing, literally, at Drew. Carly hears the truth, and unleashes hell. Sunny takes advantage of the rift between Michael and Drew. Nina fears she may have not only lost her daughter for good, but destroyed any future with her grandchildren. Thanks for watching this video and please subscribe our GH News 24 YouTube channel for more update news.